What's poppin', everybody? Hello and welcome to Popcorn Culture. My name is Ben Carlin and I am your host. Here with me today is my brother Jay, who will be in every episode.
Your other host.
Whatever. Italics other host.
Bold other host.
Are you adding characteristics?
Yeah, you're just staying the same over there. I'm evolving.
I feel like what you're actually doing is that each episode you're adding like a little bit of something extra special.
Look, you added the italics. I didn't do anything. I responded.
It seems like really what you're doing is eventually you're going to have this like whipped cream, sprinkles, and a cherry on top version of a host, and I'm just going to be a regular host all of a sudden.
Hey, who
like
knows,
just
Ben?
Generic, normal, nothing to it but to do it host.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Nothing about it?
Nothing
Okay.
about I don't know. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't trust you.
Look, you're the one who said italics. I'm just sitting here being the other host of the show, and you're getting all caught up in the weeds.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I feel like the weeds is almost the entire point of the show.
Yeah. Like if we had a topic, boy, we're just, this show is really kind of like bad golf. You know, like we're aiming for the hole, but gosh, we are just in the brush.
In the brush.
We're in the rough.
In the sand pit, from the sand pit into the water, from the water into the trees.
We are taking strokes left and right.
I don't even know if I see the resort anymore. Like, I think at this point we've literally left the property.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Although speaking of resorts, we did just get back from Disney World this past week.
We did.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to say that I am officially married. Woo! Which is very, very exciting. I can't get used to the ring.
That was going to be my first question is, have you gotten used to the ring yet?
It's the weirdest thing. My fingers fluctuate in size by like massive amounts of sizes. Like on any given day, I will literally go from like, if I hold my hand upside down, the ring will like fall off and I'm afraid I'm going to lose it.
Right.
Or to right now, for example, it's like the opposite. It doesn't even look swollen, but like my ring like wouldn't come off right now. Like,
really?
I couldn't take it off.
Let me see.
Hang on.
Let's see.
Let me put my coffee down.
Right.
So, see? Like, do you see how like my
You're
finger...
right.
Like
your
my
knuckles getting all scrunchy.
It's got like a giant strange bulge next to it to where, look at yours. Like, how do you keep yours on? It just comes clean off.
I guess I'd have just the right finger proportions that I create enough friction at most times to keep it on. But if I need to take it off, it comes right off.
Do you find that you worry about losing yours less than you worry about Beth losing hers?
I don't worry about either at this point.
Okay, like you're pretty convinced that like if we lose it, it's probably because of your own like error. You removed it and forgot it.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, it's not coming off.
No, I'm not concerned I'm gonna like lose it because I was walking down the street and oh my gosh, it fell off.
Oh my god, I'm aware of it like basically at all times since the moment that I put it on.
Oh.
The big thing that I noticed almost immediately is we were in the hotel and they give you that little bar of soap, like, the face soap or whatever.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I went to swirl it about on my hands, and my ring like sliced off huge nuggets of it.
That is a thing that happens. It is a reason I do not like bar soap, especially for hand washing anymore at all. I mean, I don't like bar soap for hand washing at all because it just gets everywhere.
No, my favorite is the soap that's like liquid inside of a container, but when you press the little pump thing, it's foam.
Yeah, the foam soap is definitely the way to go because you feel like you get a lot more, and it does give you a lot of surface area, but it's not like the liquid soap that requires lots of extra lathering to really get in, and then it's extra slippery.
Okay, on this note, I have a strong opinion alert.
Uh-oh, strong opinion about soap?
About specifically like body washing.
Okay.
I do not, under any circumstances, understand who is successfully cleaning themselves with a washcloth.
Oh my gosh.
Least effective means of cleansing known to man must be.
The washcloth needs to go in a hole and die.
It does. I don't understand how it works at all, especially when compared to a term that I only just learned yesterday, despite the fact that I've literally used them since high school, a poof.
I think you mean a loofah.
I believed it was called a loofah. But when Alyce ordered one off of the grocery list yesterday, the Kroger website called it a poof.
This to me sounds like
P-O-U-F, a poof.
P-O-U-F. This to me sounds like loofah must be like Kleenex or something.
Oh, is it?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just my guess.
Like it's a name brand.
That it's a name brand.
Okay, well they are vastly superior. Like not even in the same. Like literally, I would compare a washcloth closer to the idea of not bathing at all than I would to a loofah / poof's ability to cleanse.
The washcloth has stuck around for no reason in my mind. They are ridiculous, and as far as I can tell, it's as if like it's like you used to have, a cord phone in your house.
Right.
Because that was the best technology. And then once, cordless house phones came along, basically outdated.
Okay.
Get rid of them,
Yep.
right? Now we're so far beyond cordless house phones. Everyone's just got a cell phone. You don't even have a house phone anymore.
Okay.
Right? Most people.
Yep.
The washcloth is like still owning the corded house phone. And it's just stuck around because people are like, yeah, I don't know, maybe there's like some sort of environmental friendliness, like people, you can wash your washcloth and use it again.
I'm okay with the reusability of it, but like
Yeah.
a poof lasts a good long while.
It does
Like,
last a good long while, and I assume you could wash them as well.
I
if you
assume you
wanted.
could.
But also they're super cheap.
They are super
So
cheap.
easily replaceable.
I suppose they are made of a kind of plastic. I have no idea if they're unsanitary, but like I feel like by the very nature of what they do. Okay, a washcloth. I keep saying a washcloth.
A cloth.
A cloth. With an F. A washcloth. Could not produce suds under any circumstances whatsoever.
A washcloth also is not if you hang up your poof / loofah, it will dry itself.
It will!
Because it's got lots of holes and everything just drips out. And even if you leave it on the floor of your shower, it will be dry.
Yeah.
If you do anything to a washcloth that isn't wring it out significantly first and make sure you hang it to the full surface area spread.
Right.
That thing is soaking and freezing wet the next time you touch it.
It is ice cold.
It is ice cold.
Ice cold, no matter what. And it is like mind blowing to me because this always happens to me because the one thing in my travel shower kit that I don't bring with me is the poof because that would seem unwieldy to go inside of I call it a Dopp kit.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea if that's an actual term for something. That is like the bag in which I put my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mom and Dad growing up always called it the HBA bag.
Yeah.
Like health and
beauty aids.
Oh, health and beauty aids.
Is it beauty or body?
I don't-
Health and body aids.
HBA bag.
HBA bag.
But we had this do you remember? It was like a green bag.
Yeah, it was gray backpack.
Okay, grayish green
Gray backpack.
backpack that we literally had. I think we won it at it was like a giveaway or something once upon a time, or we won a raffle. And this one backpack came into our possession, and our family used it for 27 years.
Yeah, it was like the backpack that carried the toothbrushes and the razors and the whatever you might need at the sink in the bathroom.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, so I use this like little canvas bag that I call my Dopp kit that the one thing that just will not fit in it no matter what I do is my poof. So whenever I'm traveling, I'm always forced to use on-site washcloth.
Right.
Which it's just devastating, man.
It's terrible because whenever I'm using a washcloth, you're right. No matter how much soap I put on it, I do not feel like I can get it to lather, lest I am squirting out what feels like half a bottle of body wash.
Right, okay.
At that point, which I feel so wasteful of.
Right, and I
then.
would say to the contrary of that, if you're using your poof, you can use like a like fingernail-sized droplet, and it will produce enough foam to wash your car.
It's like, I don't know how it works, but you're right. The loofah is the far superior option to the washcloth. And if you are still using a washcloth, I would encourage you to just throw that right in the garbage. Go to Amazon, order some poofs. I just did, actually, okay, so we could
Did you Amazon a poof?
Hilariously, we got back from Disney World and I bought new poofs, and then Beth independently also bought us new poofs.
That is so funny.
At the moment, I've got like a plethora at my house.
A poofera.
A plufera.
That is so funny because this is the number one thing that I have like subscriptions to everything from like soap to razors to shaving cream to body wash to anything you can think of. I'm so bad at ever remembering to buy it from the grocery store, so it arrives at my door and I have like rows of this stuff in my medicine cabinet above my sink in my bathroom, with the one exception of the poof, because I didn't know it was called a poof and I never knew how to like order one.
Oh, I just searched for loofah and they popped up.
Oh, and it popped up?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I should have done that. But hysterically, yeah, since being home from Disney, I have literally sought out and purchased a new one.
Wow.
So, but like, I
Wow.
would say that's like for the first time in, embarrassingly, probably like 7 months.
I wonder what the recommended turnaround, like lifespan of a loofah is.
I think I take it way, way, way too long.
Yeah, my lifespan it's falling apart.
Right, like it broke.
It has begun to unravel.
Yes, it ceased to be.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that we were winning people's hearts for the better part of this conversation until that point when they're like 1 month max.
Oh gosh. Okay, so in your Dopp kit, your HBA kit, whatever you call it, do you bring with you on vacation your own shampoo?
Okay. So this is one that for the longest time I traveled next to none, like on an airplane. So for the most part, I would just like literally take in a like large Ziploc gallon bag. Mm-hmm. I would literally just like put in my suitcase like my bottle of shampoo.
Oh, you can't do that on airplanes.
No, you can't. You can't. So you and I, as we've gotten more into the world of YouTube, we fly way more than we ever had before. And I have tried to hack this thing so many times because I do like my shampoo. Mm-hmm. So I keep going to the store. I'm buying like the travel safe sized containers that you can like dispense some of your shampoo into so you can bring it with you.
Right.
I forget them in the shower every single time I travel. So
wow.
I have probably bought like 10 reusable containers that I just left because it's like, cause you're going through and it's so bad that I forget them because I'm the person who like checks for like that spare sock that might've fallen underneath like the bed or something.
Right.
Every time I'm packing, I'm like, I like will leave my hotel room and then literally go back in one more time, like with my suitcase outside the room door and like do one last check to make sure the suitcase wasn't somehow blocking, like a watch or something important that like maybe I had like set down and forgot to pick up. Mm-hmm. But the one area I never check is inside of the shower, which is of course where I leave my little bottle of personal shampoo.
It's funny to me that there's an area of a hotel room you forgot to check because most hotel rooms are just 2 areas, and that's the room and the bathroom.
So I'm incredibly thorough with one and incredibly not thorough with the other.
Basically. I pretty much never bring shampoo with me.
Okay, never.
I always just use the hotel shampoo, but Beth always has the portable things.
Okay.
So I'll often just steal from her anyway.
Smart.
I did just have to reorder her some new portable like shampoo conditioner dispensers because she left hers at Disney on purpose.
On purpose?
On purpose.
Why on purpose?
Basically, and we could talk, I'm sure we'll talk more about this, but I got sick while we were at Disney.
Okay.
And had the flu, and as such, Beth did not want to return anything to our home that was not a cared for item because it might be infected.
Including containers that literally possess soap?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It seems like those would be the easiest things to clean to me.
You'd think, but the outside, Ben, the outside.
The outside. Okay, so let's tell a little bit of the story though. So okay. I get married a week ago Monday on January 6th, 2020, and phenomenal event, like top to bottom. Everything was so much fun. It was very beautiful. Alyce and I had a blast. Promptly over the next 4 days, approximately 50% of our wedding guests came down with the flu.
Is it at 50% now?
It is 32 confirmed cases of the flu out of, I believe, 68 attendees.
Wow.
So literally, yeah.
And when you say the flu, you mean influenza.
I mean influenza, like went to the doctor and, well, I am including myself and Alyce in this list because I witnessed us both being sick, but that is the number of people who have said they went to the doctor and had the flu.
Okay. Yeah. Do you think, I think the flu is a word that gets tossed around and often is synonymous with I have a cold.
Sure.
Or I have flu-like symptoms,
right,
or whatever. No, let me tell you, people listening, there's a difference between the flu and having a cold or being congested. The flu, the influenza virus, sucks. And
I do think Jay had it the worst.
I think
of literally anyone.
All reports that have come in from this wedding, I think I got it the worst. And it was rough. I mean, I missed 2 days at the park, and our flight wasn't until like 5:30 on the day we were leaving, which was everyone else spent the day at Disney Springs because they didn't have any more park passes. But I spent 3 days of my trip to Disney for your wedding just by myself in a dark room. Oh, with the worst headache of my life.
I feel so bad.
Oh, but yeah, so this is...
I'm so afraid this is going to be the legacy of our wedding.
I know that everyone's just going to remember the flu. Remember how everyone got the flu?
Everyone got sick. And like, I was so sure that this wouldn't happen because our little brother Tyler, when he married his wife Emily, they were both sick, and you know the process of like icing somebody, like where like you were delivered a Smirnoff Ice unexpectedly. They did that to each other at their wedding, and it was this big extra large bottle of Smirnoff Ice, and everyone there drank from it because it was like this, like, what? No! And like, so like, we're like literally passing this bottle around. Everyone got sick, and I was like, but it was their legacy.
Right.
Their wedding was the one where everybody got sick. And then sure enough, I'm going to be so sad if that's how it goes down.
So
the Disney wedding that left with everybody having the flu.
Everyone who left early and didn't get it, I'm sure will remember nothing but the Disney magic, which was your wedding. But everyone else might have the Disney tragic.
The Disney tragic. Oh no. Oh, so sad.
That to me. Okay, so we've talked before on the pop about the Disney magic.
Yes.
So first of all, did you have some Disney? I mean, obviously your wedding was quite magical and it was amazing. But just in regular park days, did you have any fun Disney magic moments?
So I barely also went I also got sick, but I was so busy with the wedding, like, which was something that I think is so easy for someone to be like, yeah, no, duh, you were going to be busy with the wedding. But like, I don't think I had any idea how busy with the wedding we were going to be. Like, when it really came down to it, because we drove from Virginia down to Florida, and Alyce owns a bridal shop, so we were bringing all of the tuxedos for everyone at the wedding.
Right.
So we get to Florida, and I think that they're trying to like upgrade us and put us in the room closest to like the cafeteria, but they put us a half mile away from everyone else attending the wedding whose tuxedos I had.
Yeah.
So like, as crazy as it sounds, I spent like hours of my trip at Disney literally just going like to and from people's rooms or having people come to my room to like pick up stuff. So I spent like a day and like 0.25 in the park when it really came down to it out of my 5-day pass. So I didn't end up having a whole lot of park time. That being said, at the wedding, there was one Disney magic moment in particular that I have to talk about because it was so amazing. So one of Alyce's big things is that she is not like a big time sweets person.
Right.
And we had talked about that with them, like when we went down for our planning session. And I think her exact sentence was, like, I'm not really like much of a sweets person. Like, I would honestly rather have a plate of mashed potatoes. And it was sort of like one of these like throwaway comments. And like, I know Alyce so well, and I know the number of times that like she's literally requested me bring her mashed potatoes for lunch at work, and I've done it. But so we get to the wedding, and the caterer comes up to me at one point in time, and he's like, we have the mashed potatoes ready. And I'm like, I'm in like just such a happy-go-lucky mood. I have like kind of no idea what he's talking about. Like,
okay.
I was like, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And he like sort of gives me a wink and like walks away. And then as we're going to cut the cake, there's this moment where he's like standing around the corner, and he like gives me like another wink, and he was so excited about it. And he sort of like holds up this plate, and I'm like, oh, I know what they did. And so literally we're having the moment where we're going to like cut the cake and like, you know, feed each other. We didn't like, you know, smash it in each other's faces or anything, but we cut the cake. They come out, they sort of like cut it up so it's like little bites. But when they come out, they have this tray with these two heaping things of mashed potatoes on it so that I can feed Allie mashed potatoes instead of actual cake. And like, she lit up like crazy. She was so excited. It was the most thoughtful thing they could have done. And it was such a small detail. Like, literally, you know, for something that literally people didn't know about. But that was the thing. Nobody had any idea. So like, they came out, they set the tray down. It was behind the cake. I took a spoonful of mashed potatoes, and she took a spoonful of cake, and we fed each other, and we took the picture, and it was perfect. And oh my gosh, Allie literally snuck back to the table later that night and was just like eating these two huge mouths of mashed potatoes. So that was our Disney magic moment for this trip. And it was, honestly, it was pretty unforgettable.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's very fun. You had a mashed potato cake.
A mashed potato
moment.
Cake. Yes. Well, the cake itself was lavender with lemon curd blueberry icing.
The cake itself, I can confirm, was amazing.
It was good. We actually
really
we have the top in our fridge right now.
Oh boy, let me tell you, just eat it.
We're going to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to.
Or maybe you are going to, right?
Maybe I will.
And maybe Alyce will have some mashed potatoes.
I'll go get a 5-pound bag of russet potatoes.
Russet potatoes.
Potatoes. Mash them up for. But anyway, did you have a Disney magic moment?
I don't know if I specifically did, because most of what it feels like it was mostly the Disney tragic.
Oh no!
But
oh no!
Let me think. So we got to go to Galaxy's Edge this time, which is my first time going there.
Okay.
And I have to say, Galaxy's Edge at Disney World is awesome.
It is.
It is. I totally feel like it's their answer to the Wizarding World at Universal.
Yes.
And because like I would say that walking around the corner and seeing the Millennium Falcon was about the same as walking around and seeing Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, oh, man, this is so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, like, unbelievable and so well detailed on a level that I was not expecting. Like, I remember going to Toy Story Land, which I was insanely excited about. And it's, like, it's really cool and very immersive. And, like, you know, everything kind of looks like you're in, like, Andy's backyard. And there's so many thoughtful little ideas that sort of, like, help seal that deal. But, like, at the end of the day, part of that is almost even the idea that you're still like in a backyard. So it's not like insanely immersive because you can sort of imagine a backyard,
right?
You know, like a suburban backyard. But then when you go into Star Wars Land, or Galaxy's Edge, you are transported somewhere else,
right?
Like it is, you are like in a whole different world. It is very immersive. The guests. Or not the guests, the cast members, rather, like when you go up and you buy a drink, they'll say, how do they greet you? They say like many suns.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah. Like, so they'll say many suns. And then like, I think we bought like a few waters and like a Sprite or something. And it was like 10.25 credits.
Right. They charge you in credits, not dollars. That's pretty fun.
I was like, man, the way that the things that they thought of here are so awesome. And there's like stormtroopers walking around and you sort of get like, the whole idea is that you're supposed to be in a space that is neither like occupied by the First Order or the Resistance. So like at any point in time, you could either interact with the stormtrooper in like a positive or negative way, like depending on if you're going to say you're siding with the First Order or not.
Right.
Which I think is pretty fun. Tyler, our little brother, was like, just let him at me. Yeah, I'm with the Resistance. Like
he was so excited.
He wanted to start a fight with the stormtroopers so bad.
Yeah, they didn't do it.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
But you're right. There's a different feel to Galaxy's Edge, because like if you're in Toy Story Land, it still feels like an amusement park. There's rides and there's you know, music and everything's big and toys and bright and colorful and all of that. But like, yeah, in Star Wars, none of the rides are visible from the outside.
No.
You're just sort of like walking around a spaceport in this like rundown town.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know, it was really cool the way they capture that like essence of Star Wars inside the park.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, the other thing that I will say, because this was like a particular highlight for me, we ate at one of the cantinas and I got the short ribs, which I think you were sitting right next to me. You also got them.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating because we actually had slightly different experiences.
We did.
For me, it was like the best park food I've eaten ever. It was like, they were like the perfect amount of like barbecue sauce, meat spicy and flavor, and they were like easy to eat and like pull off the bone. Like right next to me, you've got this like rack of ribs that like must have just been like the end cut or something.
I do not know what was going on with that rack of ribs.
It was
like, I ordered ribs, and to my understanding, and at every other time in my life when I've ordered ribs or eaten them, typically you can just pull one of the bones and pull that off of the main rack, and you can just eat the meat off the bone. Like, that's how ribs work.
Normal expectation.
Expectation.
My experience to the letter.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, and you're just like enjoying these ribs, and I'm like, what I can eat is really good, but it was as if all of the bones in my ribs were made of rubber. Like, I literally held one up and like bent it in half.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like snapping. It was just like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And it was like, what is going? Like, I was having such a hard time eating this food, and like I was like, are these ligaments? Are these the bone? Well, I don't.
It was like you had a different kind of ribs.
Yeah, it was like I'd ordered something completely different.
Yeah.
But then if I wasn't looking at you eating it, I would have been like, is this part of like Star Wars? Like they're giving you some sort of weird food, like this is space food.
It's space.
It's space ribs. These ribs haven't known gravity, you know?
There you go. That's it. Yeah,
that was basically it.
Oh, poor ribs. No, well, mine were amazing and delicious.
Yeah,
so there was that. So
what I determined to be meat was good, but I wish I'd had just a more regular experience. I'm curious to know from the listeners of the Pop, if they have ever had a Disney tragic experience.
Yeah.
Because I would define Disney magic as specifically like the customer service side of things, or like something special that happens specifically to you inside the park. Like if Chewbacca comes up and takes your kid and like holds his hand and gives him a hug, that was Disney magic. That was cool.
Right, like you had like a personalized individual experience that not everybody's going to have.
If you have a polite conversation with a cast member and they give you handwritten fast passes, that's Disney magic.
Right.
Disney tragic, I think, would define as something from the real world, or else like reaching inside of your fun vacation and ruining something.
And ruining it. Just ruining it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have a bad experience with the staff on site. I'm sure that's happened, but...
I mean, surely people are human, and inevitably, tensions being high, expectations being high, all that. So that's fair. I would not hold a cast member accountable forever for not always being perfect. That would be unreasonable.
Sure.
But anyway, actually, I am kind of curious. If you guys have a particularly good Disney magic or tragic story and you want to email it to popcornculturepod@gmail.com, I will be sure to check those out. I think that'll be super interesting.
Oh, while you're confirming certain avenues of contact or listen, or I don't know. Anyway, we got a review from someone.
We did? Okay.
That I just wanted to bring to your attention. They said, "This is a great way for Jay and Ben to be themselves. Don't worry about the topic. Just go for it. 100% recommend this popcast." They said podcast. I'm sure they meant pop.
I'm sure, yeah.
But side question, is the YouTube channel Popcorn Culture a Super Carlin Brothers channel, or a random person trying to get views by stealing your content?
Ooh! Well, thank you for looking out for us. That is, in fact, us.
That is us.
That is, in fact, us. Yes, we have the YouTube channel just for people that might find that is the easiest way for them to consume the pop.
Right.
We try to make it as available as in as many places as possible. And the great thing about a podcast
as poppable.
The great thing about a podcast is that when you set it up, for the most part, there's a little bit of legwork in the beginning, but like once you upload, it pretty much goes to all of the necessary parties. Like once you get them all established. But YouTube is one where there is the offshoot, so it will be like a little bit delayed on getting to you, probably under most circumstances, but it will be available, so you can go subscribe to Popcorn Culture at youtube.com.
Yeah, it'll be the one that has our logo and stuff on it. I'm not sure if there's other Popcorn Culture, channels, fakers, phonies out there.
Phonies that existed before us.
Yeah.
Possibly, you never know.
Possibly, but so yes, we do have a YouTube channel. I've got some other follow-up.
Okay.
This one was I think it was on Instagram, maybe, from Captain Sophia. And apparently, she says, in Finland, Valentine's Day is called, I can't say it.
YTYSTAVANPAIVA. All right, pronounce it.
Yes, to Van Pavia, but I'm sure all of the, Anyway, in
Easton Van Pavia.
Easton Van Pavia, that sounds pretty good. Easton Van Pavia. And when that day is translated to English, it's called Friends Day. And the day is more about friends than love. So it turns out that Finland has already got Friendsgiving in February.
Shout out to Finland. How about it? Like,
look at you guys.
So far ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Or is it really just proof that time travel exists, and our idea to create Friendsgiving in February was just traveled back in time and implemented specifically into Finland culture?
Someone inceptioned. What happened? They inceptioned us? I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I can't do the math on that time travel.
On how that time traveling works?
Yeah.
Well, so we've introduced it to the world now in present day 2020.
In 2020.
Right. Whenever Easton Van Pavia Day was invented,
yes,
that was invented by a person who was listening to our podcast
in 2020.
In 2020, it traveled back in time. I'm assuming to 1956. I don't know why. It feels like the right year. To Finland.
To introduce Easton Van Pavia.
Easton Van Pavia.
Okay. And I don't know, do you think they do the French fry thing?
Probably.
People were sending me, there was at least one picture on Twitter of the most amazing spread of French fries
really
I've ever seen.
Really good for Easton Van Pavia Day?
Exactly. Easton Van Pavia Day. God, I hope we're getting that right.
No, we are.
Absolutely.
I mean, based on the rules of time travel,
however you're making it up.
This word, whatever they tried to write, is based off of what they think we were saying.
Oh, okay.
Which is Easton Van Pavia Day.
So even if we're saying it wrong, it's just because they spelled what we're sounding out wrong.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're right for sure, because we are the source.
Gotcha.
Yeah, to 1956 Finland.
Where Easter Monpavia Day already exists.
Right, yes.
Oh my gosh. So also, Beth, my wife, was listening to the pop, and she got to the part about the Friendsgiving in February, and she was all for it.
Was she?
Yes.
Should we plan it? Should we
do
do it?
Should. I think we have to at this point. We've got to have our trays of French fries, and we have to have friends over, and yeah, that'll be it.
And that'll be it. Okay. So what I want to encourage listeners of the pop to do as well, because we're currently on I believe this episode will come out like January 17th, maybe Friday.
Yeah.
And so we're like less than a month out right now from Easton Monpavia Day, and really like the day to celebrate those people in your life that mean the most to you. Those people that you don't get to see on regular Thanksgiving because you're spending time dutifully with your family.
Right. But now you get to spend it with your friends on Easter Monpavia Day.
Because that is the true spirit of Easter Monpavia Day.
Exactly. Although we are also family.
Known for... That's true. So can we actively not spend this time together as a part of the rules?
Yeah, should I send you an uninvitation? Happy Easter Monpavia Day. Don't come over to my house this Tuesday.
Do not come over.
Do not come over.
I do not expect to see you. I will see you on regular Thanksgiving. Oh, man. Thank you so much to Captain Sophia for that delightful insight, although, of course, we did already know about it retroactively, I think.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Right, that's how it works. Oh, goodness gracious. Is there anything else that we have to cover on this week's episode of The Pop?
Let's see. Okay. So now that you are post-wedding, your ring is getting more and more adjusted to your hand.
Right. It is actually fluctuating in response to me.
Exactly. That's the thing. You think it's your hand, it's the ring.
It's the ring, yeah. It has a mind of its own, and probably like based on however positive or negative the relationship feels at any given moment is reflected in the tightness of the ring.
Wow, that's dangerous.
That does. It seems very dangerous.
I don't think I'd want to know.
Right.
Whew, okay.
Whew.
Getting tight.
Or loose.
Or to get it loose.
I think when things
better.
are if we're in the middle of an argument, then I think the ring becomes loose.
Oh, I see.
Would be the way that the biometal actually works.
Okay.
Because that's what my ring is made out of. Is biometal. Founded in Finland. Like many things.
Man, yeah, I so badly want to go to like Scandinavia.
Oh yeah, they'll welcome us with open arms. Man, hopefully,
it is like not a high location on Beth's places to see in the world, and it blows my mind because it's like I'd say it's near if not the top of my list.
Oh, we'll go.
Yeah,
sure,
we'll go.
It's fine.
All
okay,
right.
So you had a question.
I had a question. How much brain space would you say you have gained back post wedding?
Holy goodness gracious! So much more than I ever could have told you I was using. So like this is the thing about me. Like I don't know. I am not confirmed have like ADD or anything like that. Although I think I do. At any given point in time, one question that I might ask people in my life is like, what is currently occupying your brain space? And like for me, typically I would be like, well, like 7% of it is about like Indy's grooming appointment that's coming up on Thursday. But like 13% of it is the video that we shot today. About 27% is today's episode, of the pop that we're recording.
Unfair amount of effort being given to our video versus your dog's grooming appointment.
No, because we finished shooting today's video,
oh, okay.
So like it would have been considerably higher.
Okay.
But now it's not. So it's gone down. If you had asked me earlier in the day, the proportions would have been different.
Okay.
Also, I don't want you to underestimate the importance of Indy's grooming appointment.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't know how well you could pay for things like dog grooming if we're not producing the content.
Oh, that's fair. But like maybe it also just goes to show that it requires a very small amount of my brain space. Anyway, the point is that this is a question that I ask people all the time. And so like I would ask you also, listener, right now, like what is occupying your brain space? Like, is it 50% driving to work, 50% wondering whether or not Finland actually invented Easton Monpavia Day?
I can't believe you remember how to say it 5 minutes later.
I'm so glad I did. But are you like much smaller things where you're like, okay, like I'm thinking about the fact that I need to get breakfast sometime between now and the time I get to the office, or like all these different little things. How many things are you thinking about at once?
Oh, I don't know. I try and just think about one thing at once.
One thing at once. 100%.
Okay, so I think multitasking is a really positive sounding word, but I really don't think it's something people can actually, like, you can't do two things at the same time. Like, good multitasking to me is figuring out the order in which you can get the most stuff done, because certain things will need to like have a timer put on them or whatever.
Sure.
Like, to me, good multitasking would be understanding that I need to start the washing machine before I do these 3 other chores so that it will be done when I am done.
I think that's a good like order of operations, basically. But you can have things happening simultaneously.
Right, but okay.
But you would not call that multitasking.
That is what I would call multitasking.
Sure. No, I think that's fine. I would argue that I cannot only do one thing at a time. Like, I think that is like the way that my brain works. Like, literally, if we are writing a script for a video, like in the process of me writing a single paragraph, I will probably leave the script tab 7 times, like to go do other things. And then like literally come back to the same paragraph. And those other things are not like checking sources or looking more into something else. It could be like refreshing my Twitter feed, responding to a quick email, like sending a text message to whatever, Alyce about dinner tonight, and then coming back to the paragraph again. Like, I think that my brain literally will not sit still long enough to finish that paragraph as like a commitment to the paragraph. It's like I cannot do it.
But see, even that like, and I don't know, but to me that sounds like you're doing 5 things poorly.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe what I really need is to like structurally find a way to get my brain to like stop hopping from topic to topic.
Right.
But typically it is at all times.
Right.
It would be a very rare circumstance that I would be exclusively focused on the task in front of me. And I've sometimes actually wondered that between me and you, like you are particularly good at board games, but like most of the time if we are playing a board game, I am definitely not exclusively thinking about the game or the strategy of the game or anything of that. I'm usually assessing how my conversation about everything else is going with the other people in the room and how well I am doing in making sure that I'm having good positive touches with those people.
Interesting.
And so that I think ends up being a pretty massive distraction. Also, typically wondering if there is in fact more salami, like hard cut salami, somewhere in the room, and because
I want that last piece.
we ate most of it, there's some left. And I want to know if it's okay to even eat the last one, or if I can just go get more for the table.
Right.
Because hard cut salami, when it comes to board game night, is really king.
The hierarchy of snacks at board game night is an important one.
Yes.
And I think if you can get to the point where you have like the hard cut salami and cheese and cracker, that's the top tier.
Oh yeah.
You
Because you can go just cheese, just salami, just cracker, really.
You might have vegetables and hummus. You might have some fruit and nuts in there.
What about pickles? Do you do pickles?
I mean, pickles seem like they're like a little bit wet, which gets on your hands, which you get on the pieces. I don't know if it's the best.
We still do it. Pickled okra. It's like one of my favorite finger foods.
It's not a bad like piece of like a charcuterie board, but you don't want stuff that's going to get on the
pieces.
Game.
Okay.
Yeah, got to be still dry enough for that.
How about like almonds?
Oh, almonds are great.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, peanut M&Ms.
Dude,
great.
Peanut M&Ms. This is like a game I have played with myself for most of like my adult life. Is every vacation I've ever gone on, I always bring like the huge, big, like $10 bag of M&Ms from the grocery store, and I will pour them in a bowl. And basically the agreement with myself is at any point in time, if that entire bag of peanut M&Ms does not get eaten, then I'll stop bringing it every single time. There's a 100% success rate. I never come home with like a bag of some M&Ms.
No, everyone loves M&Ms.
They do.
Everyone does.
And I think that peanut M&Ms are the best M&Ms.
We're about to make some enemies here.
Oh no.
But peanut M&Ms are the best M&Ms.
Yeah, so we're on the same page on this one.
We are on, look, there's not even a page to be on, Ben. This is a whole book.
This is a whole
book, and every page just says peanut M&Ms are the best M&Ms. Fight me.
Fight me.
And I think this is pretty agreed upon. You will have the niche person who will say peanut butter M&Ms or.
To be fair, I do really like peanut butter M&Ms.
Look, M&Ms are amazing.
Okay.
Let's just put it out there. Okay, you almost can't go wrong, but peanut M&Ms, barring a nut allergy or something like that, whatever, are not just the king of M&Ms, are the king of all candy, I think. I would argue, it would not surprise me if peanut M&Ms were not the most popular or universally loved candy in America.
Hard stop.
Hard stop. I would bet top contenders include Reese's Cups and Snickers bars.
What about Kit Kat bars?
No.
You would not put Kit Kat bars in the top.
Not in the same league as like universal love for all.
Interesting.
I think the three super big players that are really truly contending for the number one spot are Reese's, Snickers, and peanut M&Ms.
Reese's, Snickers, peanut M&Ms. So what else are we leaving out of this mix then? Do York peppermint patties fall into second tier?
I mean,
or
look,
is that is York
any
like
individual palate could change, and you might have your own favorite candy.
Okay.
And I think, like for me, yeah, a York peppermint patty is an amazing bite of candy.
You want to know what's so great?
Sure.
Is the noise they make when you crack them in half.
Amazing noise.
You have to everybody should go out and buy one and literally just break it. And it breaks in the most uniform, perfect, instantaneous, dull crack that there can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very passionate about breaking a good York peppermint patty. I have broken every single York peppermint patty I've ever eaten.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
not. It doesn't make that sound at all.
It definitely wasn't that sound.
That was not it.
I wanted it to work and it didn't.
No.
It's like it makes almost no sound, which is the glory of it.
It's like a very loud silence.
Yes.
Yes.
Loud silence.
It's a very loud
Brought
silence.
to you by York Peppermint Patty. Goodness
Yeah.
gracious, if they would sponsor the pop.
Oh, but see, York Peppermint Patty is going to be beloved by the people who love it, and I bet there are people hate it, you know? You got to find the most universally loved candy. So Kit Kat, I'm sure, is some people's favorite, or Twix. Twix is going to be one that's going to be floating around.
Gotta be up there.
It's got an inferiority complex. It's just staring at Snickers and Reese's and M&M like, I wish.
Do you want to know what Twix has done spectacularly? Is their entire campaign with left stick.
Left versus right.
Left versus right.
I think it's really funny.
It's so good. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna see. I want to know what. Oh, would you put Butterfingers?
Butterfinger and Twix are obviously just Butterfinger and Twix and Kit Kat are all hanging out like right at the table right next to the others.
Okay. I got more for you. Skittles.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Not a chance.
Like a wannabe M&M.
What do you get? Fruit? No. The king of candy is definitely a chocolate candy.
Okay.
You know, I mean, maybe this is a different category, but if you're gonna get into the fruit candies, I mean, Skittles is probably in the conversation. I mean,
okay, how would you rank Skittles versus Sour Patch Kids?
Personally, I would rather have Sour Patch Kids.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Okay, Milky Way.
No.
Milky Way is a wannabe Snickers bar.
Milky Way.
I don't even know what
gosh.
a Milky Way is.
Yeah.
What is inside of a Milky Way that is not inside of a Snickers bar? Or is it the same thing, minus peanuts? Is it like an Almond Joy and Mounds?
It's just the chocolate and the nougat in the Milky Way.
Okay.
Right? No, and the caramel. That's what it is. Sorry. It's Milky Way and Three Musketeers are basically the same thing, except Milky Way is caramel.
Okay, well, I think a Three Musketeers is considerably better than a Milky Way.
Look, Three Musketeers and Milky Way and Butterfinger and Twix and Kit Kat can just shove over. Because they're not in the same league as Snickers and Reese's and M&M's.
Okay.
Peanut M&M's.
Starburst relative to Skittles and Sour Patch Kids. Go.
Starburst are tricky because there's different flavors. You know, I guess there's different ones of Skittles
Red
and stuff too.
Starburst.
Red Starburst, which so many people think is pink. I think is the one everyone likes.
Oh, pink.
Red to me is king.
I like red,
but pink is the one I've heard everyone else in the rest of my life say is the best, and I'm always like, you're crazy. But man, so Starburst to Skittles, see, it's all just the same. You know, it's just texture. It's just texture. Okay. Man, well, this is fascinating. The number one thing that I would not But everyone agrees on this, that peanut M&Ms are the best candy.
I have a feeling by saying everybody agrees on it is
everyone knows
ensuring
this.
that
Everyone knows it, and we're all in agreement.
Okay.
There could be no other opinion.
Guys, we need all of your thoughts on ranking. You know, this year we do not have a bracket challenge in mind yet. Every year for Super Carlin Brothers, we do a bracket challenge where we've done the best like Disney movie, we've done the best Disney song, which I think Mulan, Make a Man Out of You, and Mulan won.
Well, we did not as part of like a March like 64 team bracket thing.
Right,
we just did like an at random best Disney princess bracket on Twitter, which Mulan did win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mulan is like low key many people's favorite.
It's so crazy because it's like I feel like it doesn't get as much love. Like if you go to like the Disney parks, I don't even know that there is Mulan merch.
It's not widespread for sure. You can find like the Mulan pins. I'm sure you could find some like Mushu plushes somewhere maybe. Maybe not. Not that I think about it.
I do not remember seeing them anywhere.
They have those like VHS looking notebook things. I wonder if you can find one for Mulan, but Mulan does not get great representation in the parks.
No.
Even if you go to like the China section of Epcot.
Well, interestingly, all those countries, and maybe some of them, like I do think Norway features Frozen pretty heavily.
Yeah.
But I don't know that they all feature the most obvious.
It's not always the most obvious for sure. Like if you go to France, though, I think there's, a topiary of Belle and the Beast.
Oh, sure.
It's not like everything is Beauty and the Beast themed. But like there's some Disney.
Yeah.
Like, that's more than you'd get for Mulan in China.
Sure. Anyway, so long story around, I feel like what we could do this year, if there's enough interest, is the best candy of all time.
Well, I think we have to do that on video because we get to, eat them.
We get to eat them.
We get to eat them all and judge them all.
Eat all the candy.
Eat all of the candy. Crunch. Where do you put crunch?
Nowhere.
Exactly.
Like, I used to really, really enjoy, and I had this, like, one crystallized memory from when we were children, where Dad was out of town, and Mom rented Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and she let us buy, it was like a Saturday night, and she let us buy, like, whatever jumbo candy we wanted from the counter, and I got Bunch of Crunch, which was, like, Crunch Bar, but, like, bites.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that I did love. That was, like, a pretty glorious evening.
Yeah.
And it was such a rare opportunity to get like as much candy as I wanted.
Yeah.
Which to this day I look back on it and I'm like, what a great night.
Okay.
Like I can't wait to do that for my kids.
Right?
One time.
One time.
Yeah.
That one time.
So they can remember it forever.
Exactly. So, okay, we're talking about candy and the best candy. So we all know that if you're going into a movie, that there is like, people will have like their movie theater specific orders.
Yes.
Where even if it's not something you typically, maybe you reserve this particular drink or candy for the movie.
Right.
Like for example, I don't really drink soda at all.
Right.
If I go to the movies, I will get a cherry Coke.
A cherry Coke.
And if I'm indulging in a soda elsewhere in the world, even if cherry Coke is available, I will not get it. It is a movie only snack.
So you save it. You reserve it specifically.
Save it. Okay. Cherry Coke in movies. I love it.
Okay.
So, is there a candy I don't typically get candy, but is there a candy either historically or that presently you reserve for the movies?
Typically it's Junior Mints. Junior Mints. I've also loved Junior Mints. They don't break nearly as nicely as York peppermint patties do, but they're still in that peppermint candy,
chocolate peppermint,
area. And I do love them, and I do tend to get them whilst specifically at the movie theaters. Although, I will say that this is another area where I will tend to reach for a sour candy as well. Because actually, probably one of my favorite candies of all time is, weirdly, this is like one of those where I will only buy them if I go to like one of those candy stores where you like open up the little flap and you feel like a cellophane bag with, like candy of choice, and you weigh it and it's like $47 per pound. And you bought like a quarter pound, and so it's like,
whoa,
what's 1/4 of 47? Anyway,
a little over 50, I think, right? Nope, less than that. Whoop.
Almost right.
Almost.
I think 48 divided by 12 would be 4.
Yeah. So it's like a
11?
Little less than 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 11.
It's like 11.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I will get these red ribbons that are like coated in like sour coating.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like
about.
they're like strips or something. But like those are my like probably my favorite candy. Like where I will like I'm like salivating thinking about it. Like it's so good.
Interestingly, not at the movies, but every now and then Beth and I will get tickets to like the local theater here. And the local theater is attached to a building called Center in the Square, and part of the lobby of Center in the Square is a candy store.
Yes.
Like the kind you were describing, with all of the little lids with every sour candy or whatever you could imagine. And so whenever we go to like productions or shows or something like that, that is when I will get to that type of candy.
Nice.
So I'm starting to develop like, I would say like a sour candy association with onstage performances.
So like when you're taking in like your arts and culture is when you're most likely to have sour candy.
Exactly.
Okay. Interestingly, with that, do you remember when we went to New York City? We were going to a Broadway show, and you and I were up there for business, and we were like, I think we bought like last minute tickets to like the Lion King maybe.
Yeah, yes.
And we go to the M&M store, and we're like, dude, let's just buy like a whole bunch of M&Ms. We bought like $47, the full pounder.
Oh my gosh, that was like, I could not fathom the M&Ms costing that much.
But they did. I think we may have actually spent $47.
I think, dude, you get like Seahawk colored M&Ms.
I think sort of on accident.
Okay.
I bought like green and blue M&Ms, and it was sort of like that is what happened.
Okay.
Green is my favorite color. What is so weird about this particular time that I bought M&Ms is I would say, and specifically peanut M&Ms, it is probably the least I have ever enjoyed M&Ms. And I don't know why that was the case. Like it was maybe too many, or maybe because I only had two colors. Is it even possible? Do the colors taste different?
Boy, you're gonna. That's good. They don't, but
they don't. Well, if you say so.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear how wrong I am about that.
Yes.
They don't taste different. I remember not eating all of them at the show, certainly, because we got so many, and I remember I had the orange and I got hokey colored M&Ms. I remember also part of the reason I didn't eat as many while I was there was because they came in like the really crinkly plastic.
Yeah.
At, like the Lion King on Broadway, and you don't want to be like.
And then you put it in your mouth and it crunches. So like the person next to you is like, "Come on, man."
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah. So I remember feeling that part as well. Like anytime I had to get some, I had to like get a lot, and then chow down on M&Ms.
Oh man, what an experience! Goodness. Well, so I'm so excited to hear what everybody's specific thoughts are going to be ultimately on their favorite candy, and what is in fact just like universally renowned as the best candy.
Yes. What in your opinion is not your personal favorite candy, but if someone were to like ask you, and I am asking you, what do you think is the most popular candy?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, like what do you think is the most universally beloved candy? And it would surprise me if people even believed it was stuff besides Reese's or Snickers or peanut M&Ms.
They're all so good.
Yes.
Although I think Snickers is probably my least favorite of those three. I would probably rank peanut M&Ms, Reese's, Snickers.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bold statement.
I know.
Here on the Pop.
I know. Here we go. We did it. Anyway, guys, be sure to email us if you would like at popcornculturepod@gmail.com. If you've ever had any particularly fascinating Disney magic or tragic situations that you want to tell us about. Otherwise, just be sure to tweet us. My Twitter handle is at @SCB_Ben.
Mine is at Jonkerlin, JONKERLIN.
Be sure to let us know all of your favorite candy preferences there. We will have fun debate. Bring it on.
Yes.
Otherwise, guys, until next time, bye.
Pop, pop.